You had the idea. It was good. You knew it was good. And you said nothing. Because somewhere in the back of your mind, a voice quietly asked, what if they don't like it? What if they laugh? What if they say no? And just like that, the idea stayed inside. The ask never happened. The risk was never taken. Not because you lacked courage. Not because the idea wasn't worth sharing. Because your brain treated the possibility of rejection like a threat to your survival. And here's the thing, it wasn't wrong. Not originally. Not for the vast majority of human history. The fear of rejection is not a weakness. It is one of the oldest, most deeply wired survival mechanisms in the human brain. And once you understand where it actually comes from and why it hits so disproportionately hard, you will never feel quite the same shame about it again. Let's go back, a very long way back. For the overwhelming majority of human existence, hundreds of thousands of years, human beings did not survive alone. Full stop. A single human separated from the group was functionally dead. No shelter that one person could build fast enough. No food that one person could reliably secure. No protection against predators that one body could provide. The tribe was not a social preference. The tribe was the difference between being alive tomorrow and not. Which means that anything that threatened your place in the group was, in the most literal biological sense, a threat to your life. Being excluded, being rejected, being cast out, these were not just uncomfortable social experiences. They were death sentences. And your brain, which evolved to keep you alive, encoded this reality at the deepest possible level. The fear of rejection is not in your thoughts. It is not a cognitive pattern you can simply reframe away. It is in your nervous system, in your body, in the same ancient architecture that makes you flinch away from fire. In the early 2000s, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger ran a series of experiments at UCLA that produced one of the most striking findings in modern psychology. She put participants in a brain scanner and had them play a simple virtual ball-tossing game with what they believed were two other players. Partway through the game, the other players stopped, including the participant. Just stopped throwing them the ball. Simple social exclusion. No words. No confrontation. No real stakes. The brain scans showed something remarkable. The regions of the brain that activated during this social exclusion were the same regions that activate during physical pain. Not similar regions. Not adjacent regions. The same ones. The brain processes being left out the same way it processes being hurt. Social rejection, to the human brain, is not a metaphor for pain. It is pain, registered in the same tissue, through the same circuitry, with the same urgency. This is why rejection hits disproportionately hard, even when the stakes are objectively small. A stranger online leaving a rude comment. A message sent and not replied to. A room that goes slightly quiet when you walk in. None of these are actually dangerous. None of them threaten your survival in any real sense. But the ancient system doesn't know that. It receives the signal, possible exclusion, and it fires. Fully, immediately, without waiting for a rational assessment of whether this particular rejection actually matters. And the result is a response that feels completely out of proportion to the cause. Because it is out of proportion, it was designed for a world where the stakes were total. And it is running unchanged in a world where the stakes are usually almost nothing. There is something else worth understanding. The brain doesn't just react to rejection. It works extremely hard to prevent it. This is where the fear gets complicated and where it starts shaping your life in ways you might not have noticed. The desire to avoid rejection changes what you say, what you don't say, what you wear, how you present yourself, which opinions you voice, and which ones you quietly keep. It is the reason people stay in jobs they hate, because leaving feels like admitting failure. The reason people stay in relationships long past their natural end, because being alone feels like being cast out. The reason you edit yourself, shrink yourself, perform versions of yourself that feel safer, because somewhere underneath, the ancient system is running its calculations. Threat assessment, risk analysis. Is this version of me safe enough to survive here? So what do you do with a fear this old, this deep, this wired in? You don't eliminate it. You don't talk yourself out of it through logic. The system that generates this fear predates language. It predates rational thought. It will not be argued away. What you do, what the research consistently points toward, is context updating. Your brain's threat system is running on ancient data. Data from a world where rejection meant death. And it needs new information. Not to override the fear, but to recalibrate it. To remind the system, repeatedly, patiently, through experience, that in this world, in this era, rejection is survivable. That the group you need is not a single tribe of 30 people on whom your entire existence depends. That you could be rejected by one person, one room, one audience, and still be okay. Still be connected. Still be alive. Every time you take a risk and survive the rejection. Every time you say the thing, make the ask, share the idea, and the world doesn't end. You are sending a small update to the oldest part of your brain. You are teaching it slowly that the stakes are not what they used to be. The voice that stops you from sharing the idea is not weakness. It is an ancient system trying to keep you safe in a world that no longer exists. You are not afraid of rejection. You are afraid of something that, for a very long time, rejection used to mean, and that, once you really understand it, changes everything.